Hey everybody, how are you living out there? Welcome to Wild Bill's Workshop. I'm Wild Bill, and I'll be taking you along with me on my adventures of die-cast car restorations and customs. Hey, it's great to have you here in the shop with me, so put on your safety glasses and let's get started. In taking the car apart, these are the tools I'll be using. A bench block, drill bits, 256 tap, Allen wrench, flat blade screwdriver, 256 screws, and a rotary tool with a grinding bit. I'll put a list of the tools in the description for the video below. Rather than use a vise or my hand to hold the car, I use a bench block. It's a DIY creation that has a soft foam surface. It keeps the car stable while I work on it and prevents it from getting scratched up. For me, it's a must-have and it's pretty helpful in many ways. This car is held together with two posts that have the ends machined over. I'll need to drill the mushroomed ends off the post to free the chassis plate, or the bottom of the car, from the body. I'll first drill into the post using a number 50 drill bit, which is a match for the 256 tap. I'll then switch to a larger drill bit, which I select based off the amount of material needing to be removed from the post. I'll try to match the diameter as close as I can, that way I'm lessening the chance of damage to the chassis plate. The post and body of this car are plastic, making this process easy for me. Metal posts are done in the same fashion as this car. It just takes me a little longer as the metal posts, being a harder material, slows down the process. Modern Hot Wheels like this one here have a nice dimple in the post, which I'll use as a pilot hole for the number 50 drill bit. Older Hot Wheels like Red Lions don't have a dimple. I use a spring-loaded center punch to make my starting point on those posts. I'll drill down deep enough into the center of the post so that the full length of the screw will fit. In doing this, I need to take care not to drill through the body of the car. Now I'll switch over to the larger drill bit I previously sized to the post, and I'll do as I did before, drilling straight as possible right down into the center of the post. I'll stop just as I reach the chassis plate. This drill makes for a quick removal of the plastic. If it were metal, it would have required more effort, but it's still the same process. With the drilling of the post done, the car is ready to come apart. I take the thin edge of my flathead screwdriver and place it in between the chassis plate and the body and give it a little bit of leverage. If I remove the material from the post properly, the car opens right up. I took care when using the screwdriver, making sure not to damage the wheels, axles, chassis, or body. I still look things over out of force of habit, checking for damage. Setting the chassis plate aside, I remove the interior and the window and put them aside for safekeeping as well. With that complete, it's time to dress up the post. Using my rotary tool and a grinding bit, I'll dress or clean up the post. I do this prior to tapping the post so that the threads I cut during the tapping process don't get damaged by any grinding I do. In cleaning the post, I like to get the ends flat so it sits even in the hole of the chassis plates. I also take care to clean up the sides. This makes sure everything fits nice when it's time for me to put it all back together. Cleaning the sides is important as well with metal posts. I'll knock back any sharp edges to save on bandages. And while on the topic of safety, I'll put you all at ease. Not only do I wear safety glasses while I work on my die-cast cars, I add a face shield when using a rotary tool. Proper shop safety, it's always important to me. Now that I've got the posts all cleaned up, it's time for me to move on to cutting some threads for my 256 screws. Tapping is a simple process, but one that can require some patience. With plastic posts, the tap here isn't going to have any issues with filings fouling the cutting edge. With metal posts, however, I find it necessary to back off the tap from time to time to clean out the grooves in the tap. As you can see with these plastic posts, I'm able to cut the threads by screwing the tap into the hole without backing off at all. In tapping metal posts, I apply a little WD-40 lube to the tap. This helps in cutting the threads as well as helping to prevent the tap from binding. If I feel the tap becoming more difficult to turn, I stop and back off the tap to clean out any metal filings. Not doing this can get my tap stuck in the post, or even worse, break it. Once the tap bottoms out in the post, I remove the tap and screw in my 256 screws to make sure they go in properly. The screws should go in easily and sit all the way down within the post. The Allen wrench size for my 256 screws is a .05. Screwing in the 256 button-head screws is pretty standard stuff. I make sure that I take care not to cross-thread my screws so I don't damage the threads I just created. If I was in a part of the world that used the metric system, the tools for drilling and tapping would change just a bit. I would probably be using a 1.6mm drill bit for my tap hole and a 4mm drill bit to remove the flange on the post. The screws and the tap would also change from a 256 used in the United States to an M2 size used in the metric world. If this car had a metal body, I'd leave the screws in the post, and my next step would be to apply stripper to it to remove any paint from the car. The screws would effectively keep the stripper out of the post holes during that process. Being that this is a plastic body car, if I was to put the plastic body into a stripper, well, it would melt the plastic because plastic and stripper just don't mix. I don't have a specific build for this car in mind at the moment. To make sure I don't lose any of the parts, I'm going to put it together for safekeeping. In getting things back together, I'll take a look at how well the posts fit within the holes of the chassis plate. This is why it took all that time to clean them up. Doing so, well, gave me a really nice finish. With the 256 screw now in, I can show why I use them. A 256 stainless steel button head screw with a hex drive, when finished off, takes on the appearance of a dimpled post that comes from the factory. It's a look I won't find on a crosspoint or Phillips head screw. And frankly, it's a look I really like. With the car together, my drill and tap process is complete. It's a quick test to make sure it rolls really nice, and we're off to the beauty shots. Well, yeah, all videos need beauty shots, even for drilling and tapping. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. It will help other diecast restorations and customs enthusiasts find the channel and grow this wonderful hobby of ours. Thank you so much.